right, you did a preview for the Dolphins and Browns game coming up, and you kind of looked at some things, some units playing against each other. So let's run through a couple of them. Miami rush attack against the Cleveland run defense. What concerns you? There's where we're concerned. No, take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a shock to anybody that Cleveland's run defense is 31st in the league. I like to use DVOA, which is a Football Outsiders number that measures efficiency. So it's not yards given up, or it's not a black and white number like that, but it measures efficiency. In a certain down and distance, in a certain context. How efficient are they? And again, the Browns fall 31st. I think. A good sign for them is that the Dolphins are 21st against the run. So, but again, they've played pretty well against the run. I mean, they gave up a lot of yards against the Ravens, but the Ravens are the only team that are better at running the football than the Browns are. So, that's not unpredictable. That's not unprecedented for them to give up yards against the Ravens. And then they played really well against the Bengals. So again, there's room to believe that might be, the optimist in me, but I've been a Browns fan my whole life, so I don't know where that comes from, but there's room to believe that maybe they figured something out, but the Dolphins don't have a super strong rushing attack. They went out and they got Jeff Wilson from San Francisco at the trade deadline, and he played pretty well in his first game. But nobody's going to sit here and cut it any other way than the Browns are a bad team against the run defensively. So the Dolphins should have opportunities to run the football.
Now you look at it, the Browns should also be able to take advantage of a Dolphins run defense they don't stop the run particularly well, and they don't stop the pass particularly well on defense, being the Dolphins, which you kind of like those two things.
Yeah, I mean, they score a lot of points, which is why they are as favored as they are and how they've won 6 games. So, but yeah, the Browns are going to have the ability to score points in this game too, and they're going to have to. Because again, the Dolphins are the best offense in the NFL right now. By any way you want to slice it. They can throw the ball against you at will. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle are absolute weapons. Tua Tagovailoa is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL this year. So the Dolphins are going to score points. It's nice to have Denzel Ward back in practicing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him officially clearing the protocol yet. It's nice to have Greg Newsome kind of playing a little bit better. It's nice to have Martin Emerson playing pretty well right away as a rookie, but they've never seen anything like this with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. It's an extremely explosive, extremely fast, and extremely efficient passing attack. So again, yeah, the Dolphins' defense they're not world beaters either. So we'll need more of the same of what we've seen from the Browns offense. And that is, they're a top 5 offense in efficiency. They can throw the ball at a top 10 clip, and they can run the ball at a top 2 clip. So the answer would be to not let the Dolphins on the field as much as possible. So that equals a lot of Nick Chubb. That equals the need for Jacoby Brissett to be his efficient self. We've seen kind of Jekyll and Hyde with Jacoby, but that means we need him to be the efficient version of Jacoby this week as well. I do think the Browns have a shot, but it's going to require probably scoring 30 plus.
Yeah, and the other thing that is really interesting is the way the Dolphins defense attacks the middle of the field with speed. And there's just a lot of grass there to cover, and they got a lot of guys that can run fast.
Yeah, so that's the issue. Again, you could say bring pressure. If you bring pressure, they're just going to run a bunch of RPOs and throw the ball where you vacate in the middle of the field. So if you run a lot of zone, they're going to run crossers at you and find space over the middle of the field. If you try to run a lot of man, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle can run by anybody. So it's really a multifaceted passing attack that you just can't game plan for. You just kind of got to throw a lot at them. Really got to know their tendencies on third and longs, on second and longs. What are they likely to run and try to combat that the best as possible? But they're going to get theirs. At the end of the day, they're just going to get theirs. So I think that's just something to prepare for, to expect. Is you can plan all you want, but the Dolphins are just going to get theirs, and they have all season.
So overall, what do you expect? You mentioned you think the Browns have a chance. What do you expect from this one?
I expect a lot of points. I expect a lot of points. So, if there's close to 80 total points, that I won't be totally shocked. I think 70 actually is probably a more accurate number, 65, 70, somewhere around there total points. But so I expect a fun game, a lot of points. Man, I don't know. I think, with Burrow, they found some running a lot of cover too. So, like muddying up the middle of the field and forcing him to throw the ball deep along the boundary. So where you're kind of limiting the pockets along the boundary. They might try the same thing against Tua Tagovailoa. You talked about how efficient Miami is throwing the ball over the middle, so it makes sense to run a bit of cover too. But this isn't a team that you can just bring pressure at will, because when you do that, you're leaving guys on island, and you just can't leave guys on islands against the speed they have. So at the end of the day, I'm expecting a lot of points. I don't know if I can give you a final score. That's a bold move to do, but again, I think the Browns have a chance. I do. And coming out of a bye week, we'll see how they suit up. So it'd be nice to have David Njoku back. Their second leading receiver coming into the season, so that'd be nice. I think he's kind of trending in that direction. They're not putting him on the field yet, but fireworks. I'll say a fireworks. Just expect a lot of fireworks.